So, hi. I don't know if anyone will come in, then maybe I ramble about something else you will discover. So, to begin with, I will start from certain things. I study yoga now. And, oh gosh. And I do these things randomly, I know. But I like to do it with you rather than just by myself, and also meanwhile sharing things that I would love to have listened to, maybe not in this rambly way though. Anyways, let's see if I can sit in a sorry. Comfortable. Wow. Sorry about those sounds. No, this is not ASMR though. Okay, let's see if I can see something here now. Oh, I need to cough also. No, maybe I can just drink some water. Yeah, I need to cough a bit. It's okay. So, let's see now. Where was I? And I do this all the time, and I don't know why I continue to do it. I don't have a good set of lamps, and now it's getting darker out and everything. So, or I haven't placed them in a great way where I'm supposed to read something. So, yeah. So we will see if I can read this or if it's too dark, though. So I read about the relationship between Kundalini Yoga and Sikh Dharma. Previously, I know. And maybe I read it several times because I recognized a few things again. Let's see. Kundalini Yoga and the House of Guru Ram Das. Did I read that? I think so, probably, but I will see what is at the end here. Shakti and Bhakti. Everybody grows in consciousness. Student of elegant action. Oh, wow. Yeah, since I recognize that. Let's see now. I just have to figure out where I am. I could have done this before. But I would assume that I read this. Yeah, I did, because I do this mantra quite a lot now. The Guru Guru Vahe Guru, Guru Ram Das Guru. That's what I do every day. So, among other things. But okay, so then I must be at the Golden Chain, the spiritual teacher, and Yogi Bhajan. But I also recognize this, so maybe this is a repetition too. But yeah, we will see. And if someone comes in and suddenly we do some tarot cards, whatever, we will see. But I will keep doing this right now. It's about the roots of Kundalini Yoga. Sorry if I take a pause like that, because I need to cough. A teacher is a human institution which manifests godhood. The spiritual teacher is the link of infinity within two finites. Truth is infinite. It cannot be captured at any mental or emotional imagination. In any mental or emotional imagination. Teaching is infinity. It is a flow of the same energy and reality. Therefore, no finite person can teach the truth. Through God's grace, you may meet someone whom you will love beyond emotion, beyond dedication, whom you love for the sake of love. You are inspired to obey him, and this opens true selflessness in you, said Yoga Bhajan. And as I said before, I won't go into the whole criticism around him and all that. I don't think it's my place, really. So I'll just read it as is, since I love the yoga itself, right? Yeah. I just need to comprehend it. That's why I sit quietly and say, let's see now. I almost want to read this again. Teacher is a human institution which manifests Godhood. The spiritual teacher, I mean, I think about this in all areas, not only this yoga. It's a link of infinity within two finite. Truth is infinite. It cannot be captured in any mental or emotional imagination. Teaching is infinity. It is a flow of the same energy in reality. Therefore, no finite person can teach the truth. Through God's grace. Yeah. Obviously, love is at the center of all teachings, whatever we call them. So, sorry, I'm just moving around a few things there. I had this. Never mind, I won't talk about all things. Okay, so let's see. This chapter includes the golden chain, tuning into the golden chain with Adi mantra. I wonder if that is the favorite mantra of all times for me. No, not maybe all times. I have a few that I really love. But this I totally love. If it's Adi Shakti, you know that one, right? Yoga Bhajan and the Ad mantra and the spiritual teacher, the virtue of a teacher, the guru's gate, all about gurus, all about no. It's a lecture by Yogi Bhajan. Yogi Bhajan on what it means to have a teacher. I feel like I've already read this, but maybe not. What is the function of a genuine teacher? About Yogi Bhajan and Siddhis, Kundalini Yoga as taught by Yogi Bhajan. Yeah, some people dismiss this whole golden chain and all that, but since I've seen in a very surprising and clear vision him a couple of times actually, and one time him and Ram Dass side by side looking at me, I just cannot dismiss that. It's almost like I think of it like this, but this is just my own idea. Never mind. If you don't think like I do or so on, maybe I've mentioned this before. But I also practice shamanism and so on, and witchcraft and whatnot. But anyways, so whatever you call things, but there are differences. So yeah, it's important also to divide in some sense so that anything you say mean anything. But when it comes to, let's say, the idea of Christ, this whole taking on the illnesses of, or even then sins, whatever, but that the suffering also of others and so on, that is like the greatest shaman in a way then. And I believe in this case that Ram Dass kind of unfolds, and I don't know how to express this, but I feel like he I feel like he kind of embraces Yogi Bhajan, purifies him, maybe you could also say, in the similar way, but not taking on the whole universe at the same time, maybe. But maybe we who kind of call on them as protectors as well, we do when we do the tuning in our, it's like it's similar to creating a sacred circle or whatever you call things. It creates a field, and that field is very clear and very tangible. Because my cat, for example, even if I would do that silently in myself, she knows it, and she loves that energy, and she does not love my energy otherwise. No, I'm just kidding. But I mean, yeah, specifically that she just have to be close to it, even if she's very sleepy or somewhere else. She comes when I do these things. So, and cats more so than maybe other animals even really can sense where energy is good. I mean, they, if you don't know or can tune into where those ley lines of the earth is and all kinds of things, cats, they really know where it's a good energy field also in the earth grid, so to speak. So that's the clear signal. yeah, I also I don't know, maybe if I should go into this, but I've also, in my shamanic practices, done some, what can you say? Yeah, well, there are some practices you could do when you work with the snake energy and how you pull that energy up. It's like similar maybe to Kundalini, but it's a very protective energy. And when I did that, you kind of exactly how you do it. I won't go into that exactly now, but it's nothing secret about it. But anyways, so it's like you kind of imagine it or you visualize it, also coming up above your head, like on top of your head, like. And my cat, first time, even all those times that I've done that, she stares at the top, not towards me as she used to do in my eyes or so, but above my head. Like, what is that? Kind of. They are so in tune energetically, and so I don't know if dogs have the same, or if even every cat have that same sense as mine does, but she do. I mean, she does. She noticed that. She knows. And first time also she kind of was pulled back, almost a little bit scared of that, because that was also a sort of a protection measure visualization, and her reaction towards whatever is that was so strong, so I couldn't not know that it worked, so that's a good thing when it comes to this. Okay, I shouldn't ramble a lot. I should learn here, not my own thoughts. So let's see now about the golden chain. I have read this before, I feel, but I will read it again. The golden chain of Kundalini Yoga is the chain of teachers, your teacher, her teacher, his teacher, and so on. When you are teaching Kundalini Yoga, this chain forms the channel through which the energy, the wisdom, and the protection of the tradition flow to you and through you to your students. It is essential for a teacher of Kundalini Yoga to teach in this chain. And my teacher, she is lovely, and very, she's so loving, so caring, and so she's also very insightful, and how can I say, she's very protective, I think. Overall, she wants really good and loving things in this world, and I totally trust her on that. On everything. Like, she's really, really wonderful. The thing, I think, and it's okay, I think, to maybe disagree a bit, because to me, I shouldn't go into this, I said, but then I do. To me, this chain, because I don't really understand all the things that have happened and so on, but I read all the things, actually, because it could be found online. There was some insurance company going through whatever accusations there were and so on. And I think in my mind, and I really, really do not mean this to dismiss anyone else's whatever truth, but just from an bystander's point of view. I always want to be on the, let's say, victim side, or on those who have been exposed to mistreatment in whatever way. Though this was not in court, first of all, and it was just a suggestion from this insurance company that this sound likely was their, that these things have occurred, was their conclusion. And I don't feel like I have, I'm in that position to judge about that. Although many do, or many, I don't mean to do either, or I don't mean to dismiss it either, but just that I cannot take a stand in that sense. And also that it have been, this have been worldwide, and the ability to record all kinds of things have been there. It was not before that time, you know. And it's almost strange that no, I mean, these are stories which could be true, but they are also they are also what those people say, you know. That's what it is. And even if I knew them, I don't think I could. How could I know, you know? Also, that one was a mistress who could have felt the first one that came out about things. Could have felt just bitter or pushed away or wronged in all kinds of ways. I mean, I'm not saying it is the case. I'm just saying that it's not unlikely. I mean, generally, if you think about things that goes on in the world overall, then I wonder. I mean, if you don't think about it as some sort of a what can I say, community above others, but just a community overall with people, you know, it wouldn't be odd then if a mistress of sorts would be maybe bitter in that situation. Not saying it is though. I'm just saying that I cannot, from other stories about someone. I think also this goes hand in hand with being exposed, no, not exposed, but being what is the word? Yeah, framed is the right word for that. Yeah, actually, where others have wanted to wrong you or make your name bad, so to speak, and without truth, and they know that it's not true, but still can make others believe it. And so therefore also I am more than hesitant to decide or take sides in that sense, because it's not my place. I have more my own experiences about the yoga, and also seen what I've seen in my in spirit, so to speak, and that's what I know personally, and I don't think that anyone else have to think as I do, of course. But I assume that, oh, someone is here. I'm just going on and talking. And if you want a tarot card or anywhere or anything else, there is a chat here if you can see it. So we can chat about some other things. But anyways, I'm just going to say that she, who teaches me in this yoga, she, I think she dismissed. Oh, sorry. Fuck. I'm so sorry. Oh, oh. The definition of the word stalking. Oh, this was loud. I don't think you heard it. Fuck the scream. Oh gosh. I mean, I was so surprised. I had Netflix on before and I forgot it. So I have been watching this Blacklist, and actually I haven't seen it. I wonder where I am at now. At season 7, at the start of season 7 is where I'm at now. And I just felt that when I saw also Dembe was yeah, he left, and now I won't say more if you watch it, but anyways, are you going to, if you haven't watched it? Yeah, I felt wow, that I could call myself that compared to those people around that I have been very protective of. But never mind. So, but back to her, to my teacher. She, I think, among with others, I think there is a group mind, let's say, and I'm not saying that it's wrong. Among, you know, first everyone should have white clothes, then no one can have white clothes, and then, I mean, and this was, I think, before these, let's call them rumors. Then, I don't know. Yeah, I just think that everyone can decide for themselves. And I also think it have to do with, this is one thing that I've also spoken with her about. I also think it's depends on who you are truly. I've met several teachers in this tradition. I'm in own classes, and some are very, they're what do you call it? They're not over self, but what do you say? Those who have a very strong discipline and are very harsh and perfectionists and so on against themselves. I mean, they keep their, let's say, not moral codes, but they're very strict anyways. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, they're upper self. I almost said, the subconscious and conscious and the, I don't know, overconscious. Yeah, I don't know the words, but anyways, psychology speaking, there are those who mistreat themselves with this tradition because they become so extremely disciplined in a harmful way towards themselves. So they then blame the whole tradition because of that. And I'm not saying it didn't. I mean, they have all the rights in the world to speak about how they experience things, and they should. I just think that people like myself that are quite random and pretty undisciplined, even when I wish I was more so, very free flowing. Like, to me, it really is calming and soothing and relaxing to have all the white clothes, even the turbans. Not that I have had any, but when I've had something on my head like that, it really calms the system because it's all over the place otherwise easily. And the whole the which could be felt like the limitations or so on, they are so very calming to a person who is, let's say, way more flexible like I am, also in my joints and so. Actually, I think it goes hand in hand sometimes, but yeah, so I think it totally depends. I mean, these that is some of the criticism I've heard, that some people have used it in a way that I've been have felt like almost like a prison to them because it have been so harsh, but it actually have been themselves using it in a harsh way as well. And yeah, so what was I going to say more about that then? I don't know. I just think that maybe she, and many, let's say like this, right now as it stands, as I know about, I don't follow the whole community's flow, and it differs. I mean, some take different parts of it now, and some dismiss the Sikh influence, but actually a lot of it is that. Although the song at the end where you tune out, I love that one, and that come from there. I mean, there is a lot of things, so I don't know how you can really dismiss that, but it may be certain things that come that can't be how I speak. Well, that maybe is not like a longer tradition than yoga bhajan, and maybe that is what they dismiss. I don't know, but yeah, it differs, and I mean, it will continue to differ, I guess. Some people keep it quite strict still, and some have other ways. I think here in Sweden, many never say. I mean, never. I shouldn't say. There are those, I'm sure, but many are cooler. Let's say with people having different colors of clothes in the classes and so on, and yeah, so it's getting more relaxed in a way. It could feel like, but personally, to me, that was one of the things that I loved about it from the beginning, is the peace that it gave me, the whole just the whole room became so relaxed when we all had white clothes. I just loved that energy of it. It was some sort of peace in it for me. So, anyways, moving on. So I think I think she I mean, she takes her own stand. My teacher I'm talking about now, she takes her own stand, and she also thinks those stories that I should have read, I think, are horrible, and they are. And I also could maybe think that some of the things that I have both met and been exposed to and experienced myself and so on, could also make me a little bit not numb, but to me, I don't know, to me, certain things seem, what can I say? They seem, it sounds really bad to say that they seem minor, but they actually, in my, I mean, it depends on the frame of reference, I think, yeah. That some things in the whole, as I said, in the whole world of all the people and all those who have practiced this and been involved in this, it just, although I think there are more stories coming out and so on, I just find it curious that it's not even maybe more known. I don't know. But anyways, it's not my place. Whatever. Anyways, but I think it's important to know what is what, because it's talked about as if this insurance company that said it's likely that it could have happened. It's talked about as if it was a court case or someone judging it like that, but it wasn't. So, I mean, that is also things I know. I mean, that could be good to keep in mind. Now I keep just talking about this, and also another thing I thought about was this. The fact that it's so efficient, the things that Kundalini have done for me and changed and does now also, that is miraculous. And it's not, I mean, I'm not going overboard. It is certainly miraculous, because certain problems I had, or ailments or stuff that I've gone to healthcare and so on, and they haven't had much to offer. And then I've done some easy, simple practices with Kundalini yoga, and it have just balanced itself. And there are several things that I could mention. For example, and now I won't even talk about the Ayurvedic part, which is also, to me, side by side, that is also miraculous, helpful, and healing, although using very cheap and sort of simple methods or herbs or what it is. Anyway, so when it comes to yoga, for example, my neck was like, I've had these problems before where I was sick, and it was like the Leaning Tower in Pisa. It was like really, and it had been like that for years then, because I could only sleep on one side. I had such pain in my tummy. It was problematic anyway. But I healed from that and so on. But still, my neck was all, I didn't understand how to do with that. And I got some practices from some, whatever they are called now, therapists, what I should do to try to correct that. And nothing happened. I did those small exercises, but nothing changed. And then there was this back kriya or set of practices in Kundalini yoga that I started doing. And I think I just did it like maybe 3 times, or maybe at the most a week every day. It was not, I mean, it was several minutes. Maybe it was, I recall a few of the practices, but it was maybe 3 minutes times, let's say 5 or 5 to 7 maybe different positions that you did, simple ones. But then suddenly I looked in the mirror. I didn't even do those to correct my neck. It was just because we were doing that in the class where I was. Everyone was doing it. So, and then I suddenly looked in the mirror, and this was gone. My neck was totally straight, and I just didn't even understand how it happened. And also, I was before then, actually, the first thing that I recognized that I was pretty severely sensitive to electricity or radiant things. I couldn't stand beside the. I couldn't even talk on the phone a lot, or stand beside the stove, even if I just boiled some water. I had to go away from there, or I get all red in my face and everything. And anyways, and also those things. What are they called? Those lamps that are in the roof of stores and so on, or even classrooms and so on. I could it really, oh gosh, how I talk, but they affected me in a very bad way, anyways. But then when I did these Kundalini yoga practices where I strengthened the aura, I didn't know that it was, obviously now I realize that my aura field was very weak, or even whole, maybe, probably, and so on. But then after doing that for a while, it just vanished. I'm still very aware. I don't want to get it back, although I'm constantly on the computer and so on. But I try to be selective, and how I use the what do you say? Oh gosh, the English words. The speaker, yeah. When I talk on the phone, and I think about these things. So when I expose myself to radiance or electricity, I think about how to do that and so on. But I almost never have those bad experiences again. It could be if I start to speak with someone often in the phone that I usually don't, and so on. Then I can, after maybe some time, if I would do that every day for longer times, yeah, you know what I mean. Then I could start to feel it again, in my hands or in my ears and so on. And then I stop. Then I say that I can't keep doing this and so on. But I know the practices that can help this. And I have a cousin that I've had problems with this for super long, and I've told her about this, but I don't think she have tried it. But she had to live out in a actually, there were those houses here that were built for those who were sensitive to electricity as well. But now they don't. I don't know. They got rid of those, and she had to live out where she had wooden stove and everything, far away from electricity. Anyway, yeah. What was I going to say? Yeah, and also it sounds like I'm really, really disturbed by the electricity now. What am I talking about? No, but there was something, yeah, recently, also the blood pressure, just doing some simple breathing exercise. And there was some nurse that was really like cocky towards me, like, oh yeah, you try your natural ways, you should eat medicine, blah, 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 and so on. And then I told her how it had changed, like for just a month, it dropped so much, like from being quite high to normal. And just doing these very simple breathing practices, and also I just did them like a minute each, a few breathing practices, and I mean it couldn't be easier. And anyways, I mean what what I'm going to get to here, no one will ever listen to this, and that's good. I will probably not have this up for long anyway. So what I'm getting to is that this is so efficient and it's not magical because it's natural, but this knowledge that comes from those who discovered all this, it's so fantastic. So I also believe that there are forces out there who wants to prevent this in the same way that, for example, Ayurvedic medicine, okay, it's known and it's spread somewhat, but those companies who sell and live on selling expensive medicine and so on, they are not interested in health. They're interested in selling. And so they would never promote or even suggest that there is an alternative, easier, natural way. And I'm not saying that that's always the best choice. Sometimes we need surgery, sometimes we need medicine and so on, but there are much knowledge that also have been known for thousands of years, not only from Ayurveda and 5,000 years from there, but also in our own culture in Sweden and so on. These natural remedies and so on that we have forgotten, that are part of us, they're part of our nature, that we can access so easily, but they're like dismissed. I also recently talked to someone that I really love, such a sweetheart. Oh gosh, that's a sweet one. Anyways, who takes some, I mean, that I met many times, but this is one, takes several medications and so on, and have this feeling that, oh, I don't want to take any more medication, so they don't want to try those herbs, which are natural, but you maybe need to take them, so to speak, but they are not medications. But it's like, no, I don't want to add another pill, let's say, or medication. But that's like an anti-medication. It's and it's no side effects of them. There is no ama, as it's called in Ayurveda. It's no bad residue things that comes with it, as it does with regular medicine oftentimes. And so, I mean, yeah. So, hey, someone, if you want to interrupt me sitting here speaking with myself, so to speak, now they go away when I say, hey, I don't see who you are, so you don't need to feel shy if anyone coming in. Yeah, so, but that is also one thought I have. I'm not saying that those who have stories to tell or feel, or have been abused or feel that they have been, or whatever, some also may be greedy. I mean, people are greedy. Why shouldn't it be possible that certain things, I mean, certain people want to sell something for greed? I mean, it happens, and I'm sure nothing is out of the human. What is that word then? I mean, even in yoga communities, let's say, or wherever, the whole range of human capacity, if you call it that, would exist there too, as it does everywhere else. So it's not impossible that could also be a motive. And also, and as I said, I'm not saying it is, but I'm saying also that there are forces that want to prevent these practices also, who want to throw shade on, I mean, who would support that, or be willing to support that or spread that or so on, because it actually it helps to sell other things, or help us to trust, let's say, more in whatever we get served from traditional media channels. Not saying everything is wrong there, but I mean, oh, the sounds around here. But yeah, that's what I was going to say. So I think there could be many there could be many reasons why it benefits certain people, sort of, or it feels like it does, to also throw shade on Yogi Bhajan, although he may also be very, I mean, it may be accurate fully. I don't know. I just don't know. But I do know that it would benefit those who want people to live in fear, and those who want people to not have access to how to heal themselves and to help others heal themselves, and with these methods, for example, those who benefit from that would also like the fact that there is some shade thrown. Let's see. Oh, I don't get anywhere when I should read this now. Yeah, but now I'm going to continue for a little bit. Oh my. Oh gosh. Let's see now. The golden link or golden chain, but I really feel I have read this before, but I will again, is the law of the soul connected and projected through the mind. If you have faith in your teacher, you shall always be a teacher. You have to learn nothing. Oh, interesting. The law is that teachers are not trained. Teachers are born out of faith, not out of spermatos. What is that? Yeah, anyway. The energy of teaching is not transferred through physical power, but through the subtle power of the teacher. When you disconnect yourself from the teacher, you fall as a teacher. Interesting. A teacher is one who links mentally with the teacher. Guru Ram Das is not away from us. When we link mentally with him, he comes to our aid exactly as a physical person would, but with much more grace, said Yogi Bhajan. And I do think so. And I've seen them, as I said, coming also to me. But I also think, oh no, my cat is awake. I also think that the teacher who teaches me now, she hers, yeah, I really feel that is the most beautiful gift of it. It's not even the yoga, I mean the practices, I mean then breathing techniques and meditations and everything, but that it comes through her. I feel that connection is very important, and from her consciousness, her way of being in the world, I feel really blessed that it's her, because she's very awake in many ways. By that I mean also that she can be critical and have a strong sense of what she feels is right, and so on, without being judgmental generally, like, and such. But yeah, anyways, yeah, this is beautiful. So, but I also don't think she minds that, even if she might disconnect from this so-called golden chain, as many don't count that in now because they want to be supportive of those who may have been exposed to abuse, and that's fine. But personally, I feel connected to this chain, and I want to. Anyway, I don't think she minds that anyway. Commentary is commentary. It is true that we must study and become skillful in the techniques of kriyas and kriya and meditation, and that a skillful presentation requires learning and practice. But there were many great teachers who never spoke, or who only taught with insults, or who offended everyone in the tradition they served. These historical people were nonetheless recognized as great teachers. And that is something they also talk about, how we sometimes offended. I don't know. Yeah, anyway. They seem to violate many of the rules that we are trained to obey. They were teachers in the true essence of the concept they sandpaper for the ego, a beloved of consciousness. They were someone who, by whatever means, gave up their ego in an act of love or faith. Oh, this is very interesting. I don't feel I maybe read this. Yeah, sometimes I feel like this also when I'm teaching certain things. And I'm not saying I'm better by saying I'm teaching certain things, but I've learned a few things because I've also gone to in the ditch many times. So I've learned a few things. Anyways, sometimes I think I'm more of a sandpaper person like that. But also I feel like those who, but I come from a place of love and meaning well and really, really wanting to enhance and be helpful and so for others. But yeah, I think those who want a softer, although I am soft also, those who want it softer than I give, they wouldn't choose me. Anyway, and I think that's correct. I think it's good that we are different. That all kinds of differences are okay because it suits different kinds of persons. Yeah, especially I feel in this in the shamanic medicine wheel that I work with also every year. There is another teacher here in town that does it quite differently in several ways, but it's kind of the same as well. In some ways, I think she also works with it more in a psychological sense, and I do it more in a spiritual sense, I would say. Yeah, to me, it's not so much representations of things; it is those things, and they work with their energy anyway. For example. But also, I feel that since we come from different places, and according to her own story, as I've heard, her definition is very much. I hope I kind of quote her right now, but as we, anyways, I don't say her name, so it's very much from the being the good girl, follow the rules, trying to appease. I mean, I don't know, like that kind of being, yeah, coloring within the lines kind of person. And I've always been the other side of it, more of a rebel, more of this indigo child wanting to protest against whatever boundaries are set and question everything, actually. I also remember when I've had eating disorder all my life, you could say. And when I was at Anorexia Center and they were talking about one thing, or I mean, there was some sort of lecture of sorts, and someone told, we do like that. If someone say they make food like this, we do the same without questioning. If they say make your bed like this, or and I was just wondering, what do people do like that? Because I always question. And that can be a very troublesome way of being also for yourself, because I want to understand why. I want to understand a reason that really sits well with me before I don't just do things because others do them. I do them if they make sense to me. But it would have been way easier if I would have, in many ways. I mean, I don't want to be in a different way than I am, but it would for sure have been easier to just follow everyone else blindly, sort of. But in that lesson, then this woman who were visiting and talking to us in the group there, she said that I saw that many of the others, those, let's call them good girls, they actually did that. So they connected so much with what she said, and I had no clue because I never did that. So to me, it was interesting to see how different we could be. Yeah, and I think it was more so those who were like that. They just did without questioning. Since someone else did a thing in that kind of way, they also did it. You know. And yeah, I don't think I ever was like that, even as a small child. I had my own thinking. I mean, yeah, not saying they didn't, but yeah. Anyway, so I feel like since I had come from this more rebel side of things in my mindset and everything, and also in experiences, I didn't fit into the normalcy girly whatever frames. And so I could, those who come to me, I'm not saying that it have to be certain personalities, but I think that it's a good thing that we are different, because those who lean onto one side will understand that better, and someone who have more of my experiences probably would understand me better. For example, although I don't have some diagnosis, I know that she does not allow those with a diagnosis to come to her classes or lectures or education. And to me, that's very surprising, first of all, because I believe that those who have been outside of the norm are the ones who have been the shamans always in all cultures. So I feel that, so those who now are diagnosed with whatever probably are more so likely to have this calling and maybe not understanding it, because this society is built in the way that it is, and so it seems like that is not fitting in, or that's a lack or whatever, or disease. And I'm doing quote unquote disease. Yeah. So and I understand that it would be easier because in some ways, yeah, to work with others more, let's say, those who easier adjust to what you say. and I don't think I would like that. I'm not saying now, I'm not comparing with animals. I go all overboard here. I will have to delete this whole thing. Anyways, but also when it comes to even my cat, my little Pooh, my lovely one, she is a special one, and I love that. She's so aggressive also, but she's super sweet, but she's very strong will. She's such a strong mind, and I wonder why this happens. And I think it's a mirror also, because even dogs that I've had to deal with, they haven't been like those cozy laid back dogs. They have been like intense active. If you could compare, it would be like a human that would sort of question everything, and those come in my way. There are those that I also more so love to work with. I talked about that with my mom, for example, who loves those lazy sort of dogs, who she could just walk and they are just sweet, and they wiggle their tail, and they are cozy kind of, and yeah, a little bit playful, but just, I guess, undemanding in a way. I'm not saying that those who come to her now are undemanding, but I mean, yeah, it demands maybe a little bit more, or in a different way, to work with. Would you say maybe it's not a comparison like, and also animals? I love animals. I'm not saying that in a bad way, or saying that I'm a master of other people or whatever, puppets. No, but those high energy level dogs or cats or whatever, those are the ones that I love to work with. They are really fun because they can also access quickly. They learn very quickly, and they can since they have such a drive, sort of, so they can easily be, well, what can I say? Yeah, I don't know where I'm going with this, but I think that I'm sorry about the background sound. Oh, it's quite loud. Is it even what? I should have shut the door there. Yeah. It's good because I have to take this away, I guess. Well, anyways, I believe that it's more difficult. Those who are more adjusted, let's say, in society and in whatever group or whatever, they don't challenge you. I don't. They don't challenge me, but I like challenges. I love challenges. That's what makes me also give my best. But I mean, with challenges, I don't mean someone who are out to bring you down or throw shade on you or so on. I wouldn't accept that shit. But I mean, yeah, if I get challenged, then I can grow. Then I can see wider, and I experience more, discover more. And I think it's an exchange I constantly do with those I meet, whether it's people or dogs or cats or whatever. Yeah. Oh my, the sounds now. Yeah. Oh gosh, now it's almost stressful. But yeah. Anyways, back to the Kundalini. So I think it's a positive that we have our exact energy are the ones we are perfectly. If we are genuine, if we try to have a mask on that aren't us, I think that is not meant. I mean, I don't think that's something that is favorable for anyone. But I think that if you have had that and learned how to take it off, and then you can teach others that. But our personalities and ways of being and all that, I think that suits different persons in different ways. Yeah, and some people need someone that they feel have a kind of status, and sometimes also the way you charge for something is kind of a signal to those who measure things in that way. And then that's what they need. They need to buy something that is expensive because it seems more high class. It doesn't have to be though, but it can seem that way, and that's for them. That's for them to do. And so, yeah, that's what I feel. Yeah, and that's it. Whatever more do I have to say about that? Nothing else, I think. But yes, I think it's meant to be that we are different, though, and that we give from where we are and what we can, and so on. And that fits perfectly with someone else's needs. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, moving on. Oh, I never get anywhere. Wow. So, okay. I was in the commentary here now. Yeah, it was about this whole sandpaper that you're right. It was the removal of that barrier that allowed the essential link to the flow of intuition and discipline that we call the guru. They obeyed that consciousness and embodied it regardless of the particulars of their personality and training. Yeah. So even that is seen like a great teacher if they know what they are doing. And some people obviously have misused this and kind of been degrading or whatever because of their own ego's need for power and so on. I'm sure that have happened a lot. But also those who have had a higher insight and known that or a greater, broader insight, that they have known that it will benefit and awaken others if they can push through their barriers of their ego or defenses in that sense. And that is not always easy to do, and to do in a way, because thing is, it can easily feel like someone is harming you if they push those buttons where you feel defensive, even if they want the best for you. And I've discovered this several times when pride is in the way for those people who seek my guidance, even. And I see how it could be so beneficial for them, but they are so sensitive to anything that would that touches their pride, let's say. That's what it is. So they can't push through that, and that's the barrier they stay within then. So you can't like it's very difficult to kind of I try to find the English word again. You know, if you could like just call on them sweetly as to come out of the capture of their ego, but it doesn't work that way. I mean, that is too strong for that. You have to kind of confront it. You have, at least that's my experience. I have had to confront mine, and I still do have to. And that is not something you want to do. That doesn't feel really good when you do it, and you have to have a little bit of pause and space to digest that and to understand. But there comes trust also. You need to trust that that person really wants what's best for you, whether it's in certain yoga practices. But you should always listen to yourself. I'm not saying you should just blindly trust, but maybe have a little bit of that, at least such opening, so that you could try what the teachers say and see if it works, you know. Anyways, but this is difficult because I totally see this sometimes, how it would benefit others so well. And I see sometimes also when people have been a few times at least, that people have felt that I not harmed them, I wouldn't say, but that I as if my words were meant to be hurtful, although they were only meant to be clarifying. And even my actions, I mean, they have been just reflecting what they wanted to know. I can't even describe it better. But, and therefore, I hope, for example, one time where I actually decided to not continue with that because we got trapped in this destructive triangle over and over. And I mean, with this, yeah, anyways, I won't go into that. But anyways, so, but I realized the things she wanted to discover and asked me for, I actually mirrored them. So hopefully that one day will land in her, that so that she sees that, oh, this is the pattern that goes on in those relationships. And that was another mirror of that same story where I described what was happening during the process, although she have been in the similar waves, let's say, other times, but without having someone describing them meanwhile. And so now maybe hopefully afterwards, sometime in, if she maybe can comprehend that I wanted well, maybe sometimes she can see that, wow, so this is what she was pointing at, this was what she meant. I'm not sure that will happen though. You can't know for others, but you can know where you come from, and if you mean well, you know, that's what you can do. And also you must know where you need to stop it, where it becomes like a struggle, because I really want to share the riches and the treasures that I've found in many ways, but I do not want to. I have no agenda. I don't want to push it onto someone, because these are treasures I've craved. I mean, I've had this thirst, yeah, you could say, or whatever. I really, really wanted them, and also, no, I need to change my where is it, and also whatever, what am I going to say? Yeah, I mean, I've known that this is something really, really valuable here that I want. So my, let's say, intense grasping of these things have been there. And so if someone either don't understand its value, or maybe it's not for them this time, whatever, then there is no reason to go into a kind of a struggle, because if someone wants it, then it's there. If someone have a lot of, constant doubts about it and so on, then probably it's not for them, or maybe it's not the time for them. So I think it's very important also to know when to let go from your end. Yeah. It sounds very much when I speak now like I think I'm super, super good, but I don't. Yeah. Oh, things fall down. I know I'm good in intent, though. That is what I know, and I also know that it can be very hard to trust others. I mean, I know that from my own experience. So I understand those who question me and question things. But sometimes that also comes to a halt. It comes to you kind of run into a wall where you at the time being cannot continue, and you have to direct them towards someone else that fits them better. That would. I'm not saying that would stroke them the right way, but yeah, in a way that they can understand as loving also, I think. Although, as I said, my aim is from love constantly also. Oh gosh. Okay. God, can I even come through one page here? Let's see. They were someone, yeah. It was removal of that barrier that allowed the essential link to the flow of intuition and discipline that we call the guru. They obeyed that consciousness and embodied it regardless of the particulars of their personality and training. The essence of a true teacher is a consciousness that you obey in order to clean out the ego, so that intuition, commitment, and love can serve the will. Will is like with capital W here. Oh, I kind of, yeah, can understand this. The essence of a true teacher is a consciousness that you obey in order to clean out the ego, so that intuition, commitment, and love can serve the will. I also think, even when it comes to the witchy things, the everything, I mean, it's Saturday night now, or evening, and this is what I love to do. Not to sit and talk to myself, maybe, but these things, these are my passion. All of these things that I do, I'm so passionate about them. And so this is fun. This is a fun Saturday night. But yeah, I have other kinds of fun as well sometimes. But anyways, what was I going to say about that then? Yeah, I think also it's very easy for me, since I come from this place from the beginning. I now have a stronger ego, you can say, positively. I have stronger boundaries. I know I don't take on others' projections easily, not as easily. Things have changed in a very good way, with that meaning that my ego is kind of stronger in a sense, my or projection of ego, you could also say. But from the get-go, or from the start, my aim have always been very loving, but I didn't have such a sense of myself. I didn't feel the need to. I felt like kind of a oneness sense, I guess. I forgot myself when I try to help someone, or I don't mean like forgot myself in the sense that if someone asked what do you want to do, I wouldn't know what I wanted to do, or so on. What kind of food do you like? Yeah, I know. I didn't mean like that, but I mean that I was so absorbed in the whole how can I be of service kind of attitude. My aim was to how can I benefit this person in a good way? How can I, from a very selfless way, because I totally forgot about myself. It was not from a position of, wow, I'm this compared to you, or blah blah something like that. I mean, it was not ever involved in my whole mindset or way of being. So in that case, I come from a easy way. Never had that kind of ego, let's say. I never had to break that down, because this have just been my natural, and not in a sacrificing way. It have been in a joyful, passionate way. Yeah. So it have not come from. I have not been that, let's say, good girl in that sense. Although I have been a people pleaser in some ways, especially with those guys that I've been with, I guess. But mainly, I've always had a kind of strong sense of myself in that sense, that I have said no, or yeah, showed my own will at times. So it have not been in that sense, but that I've tried to adjust. Rather, sometimes it have gone overboard, where I've forgotten myself too far, so I've been confused. But generally, in those close relationships, then not in a situation where I just help someone who seek my guidance or help. Yeah. But that part have been so easy for me. It's still easy. I mean, since I have that instinctively, I think also, not only intuitively, more so now, because I kind of understand it better, the concept, let's say, of oneness also. But it's also so natural to me that we are without those boundaries. If someone hurt, it's part of me that hurts, that I want to help. If my cat would have let's say, something in her paw, that I would, I mean, it's just natural. You want to take away that pain and resolve it, Otherwise, I mean, it's part of you, what goes around you. I don't know if that's the case for others, but for me, it's easy. And if I can share these treasures, that I consider them, and that's the best things that I have. And if I can give that happiness, or share that happiness, or that path with others, those discoveries, if I can make others discover them and discover themselves, discover their own power and their connectedness with everything that is. I mean, then I'm the happiest person in the world, and I am, even if not. I am anyways. But yeah, so that I kind of understand. That's kind of, yeah. I won't. I will just continue to read now. Let's see. It is said you can. What does it say? You can pile a donkey with holy scriptures. Oh, now I understand this. But it will still be an ass. Yeah, and that's the way when you have to see where it kind of also lands when it comes to. I think I mentioned this previously, but in my witchy teachings and so on, or classes, and so, Coven, there I mean, people can also be in different levels. I mean, and they are exactly where they should be. I mean, certain things they know or understand, I don't know anything about, and so on. So it's, but when it comes to certain things, I do know that I see and know more things about that certain thing. Yeah. And so there I have to, even if they don't understand that they don't understand, I have different experiences and practices, and I know. So then I have to come from a position from that knowing. What else can I do? You know, and so then, but from a place of love and acceptance of where they are at, and meet them there with what I can share or what they can comprehend at the moment, which is totally fine. It's not like they should be somewhere else, and you shouldn't push others either. It's if they crave it or ask for it, and that's the problem when people get accused of also when they first want it and then they like turn because it touches two sensitive spots, you know, and then you have to have that um, um, serenity yourself to not take it on you, to know that these are sore spots that they need to eventually confront. They can't continue to project it out because it will continue to hurt, and they will keep doing the same patterns over and over and over. And the reason I know is because, yes, I have been there, done that a lot. So, yeah. Yeah, anyway, moving on. Some students collect volumes of writings, hundreds of techniques, but never deposit their ego, like dirty shoes at the door of the teacher. Oh, this is so beautiful. The result is that the door of the heart cannot open. Oh, wow, I really love it. I have to read this again. It is said, you can pile a donkey with holy scriptures, but it will still be an ass. Some students collect volumes of writings, hundreds of techniques, but never deposit their ego, like dirty shoes at the door of the teacher. The result is that the door of the heart cannot open. Wow, this is so beautiful. I almost get teary-eyed now. But yeah, that's it. And I mean, that is another thing. You can't demand trust. There is also one close to me that I won't mention whom, but there is someone close to me that is, I mean, obviously, there is a reason all these experiences that I meet and the people that I meet have something to tell me. There are sort of reflections as well. But there is someone who is super defensive. I mean, almost all the time. You can say anything almost like, so, what time is it? I haven't said that I should know the time, can be the answer. Just what? I just asked, what? That's a constant. So something is there. But then I've learned also to just, yeah, okay, but whatever, yeah, but it's interesting also that I've done on my one of my other channels that has my real name on it. I've done three, I think. Yeah, this is the Witches' New Year's now. With so in this Halloween, 1st of November, and I've done those few astrological or star signs tarot layouts for them. I mean, in audio, I've described the cards and runes and oracle cards as well. And the last one for the twins, it was very much about this, actually. It was very much about this whole collecting and collecting. I'm not sure it was exactly about this, but still it felt connected. Yeah. So, I mean, egotism is something else, but it goes hand in hand. The ego is our limited self, a thought that our boundaries. In the I Ching, there is a very beautiful description of it. It's, I think, at least I'm not sure all of it is the whole description, but the lake would be a description, let's say, of the ego. There is one of the hexagrams in I Ching that is like a mountain, at the top there is a lake, I think. But anyway, the lake have its boundaries compared to, I mean, okay, the ocean also and the whatever have its limits, but it's understandable. You can see that as an image, and that is sort of what the ego is. It defines us. It's something that isn't bad. It's just a definition of who we are here and now, and that is at its. I mean, that's mind's composed. Compost, no, but it's a what do you say? It's a mind game almost now, but it you decide your ego. You are the creator of your ego. I mean, you have certain tastes and so on, and when it comes to, let's say, food, for example, or you have a basic. You can't just change whatever I color, voice, maybe, yeah, but still, lots of it is both culture or environment that have we think, or his stories like that we think are ourselves in society, but also our own personal story about things. It's like we tell ourselves who we are, and then we think that is it, sort of, first of all, and that's not a bad thing. I mean, if we lose it totally, it could go into like psychosis if you have no ability to kind of contain yourself inside of a jar then or something. No, but you understand. Yeah. So that what defines you. You are this. You are, let's say, a woman, if you think you are. No, but certain things. You are this height. You are whatever. Yeah. And also the inequalities, obviously, or what you're good at, or anything. But the ego is also this prison that make us think that these boundaries are real. They aren't real. They are just fabrics of our imagination. I was just listening to this uh, pretty old song, but it's just an illusion. It's 80s, maybe in the beginning of 80s, I think. I will put a link to that one. I will have to do that. Wait a second. And that's what it is. That's an illusion. Yeah, this song is about something entirely different. But anyway, so yeah, I'll see. Here it is. Just an illusion by imagination. Also, they are called. I like these kinds of old songs. Oh, I'm so corny. I know. I know. Oh wow, wow. The sound. But stop. I mean, why? Why do they continue if you put it on pause and they scream in the ears here? So okay, well, I will just do like this. So it is part of ourselves, but it's not a truth. It's how we see things, from our also limited perspective. And when we think that that is what we is or what we are, we constantly feel threatened that anything will, if we have that boundary, if we are that lake, the whole universe is stronger, larger, more powerful. We are always at the mercy of everything almost. And so the fear, that kind of, not fear of death. I think very few actually are fearful of death. What we fear we fear the loss of this ego, the concept of who we are. That's what we fear, and that can feel like as threatening as death if someone poke on that, and like maybe try to help you see that you don't have to have those boundaries, can widen your perspectives. Or if someone just points it out, just say that, wow, this is it. Or this is even defenses. Many aren't aware of acting defensive, because it's such a it's also instinctive, this fight flight thing. Freeze, fornicate, isn't that the ones? Yeah. That instinct anyway, that try to strengthen and preserve. And sometimes when we point finger also, I think there is a difference of pointing a finger to others to clarify things. Like, I mean, I even think that's a good thing. I would have been very confused if I wouldn't have had anyone to talk to about certain things that have happened, or certain things. I mean, how certain people have behaved or what they have done. It have clarified my way of understanding, but it didn't come from a place in me where I wanted to degrade them or make them the bad guy or girl or whatever. It came from a wish to clarify things, to be clear about what is what. Yeah. And then I don't feel that that's the same thing as pointing finger. I think it's very good to be able to express what you see happening or whatever. Yeah. But if you get stuck there and constantly that's what you do, then probably it's a good thing to let go. Okay, moving on. But this was very interesting. Yeah. And that's the problem with this heart. And that's the mantra in the beginning there where I was talking about doing every day. As for me, it was very difficult from the beginning to bring my energy down to the heart space. I had no clue that was difficult before I started doing these meditations. So it constantly went up where I feel more comfortable. I'm always in this third eye kind of spiritual space, or outside of body kind of. You feel very, very safe there, because there is nothing physically that can touch you, let's say, or harm you. So, yeah. But to come down into the heart space, you need to be there. I mean, that's the most healing space you can be in, both for others and for yourself, but especially not least for your own body, because the energy, the body also needs a presence to be preserved or to be alive. If you abandon it constantly, then the energy won't be the same, obviously. Yeah. So yeah. What was I going to say about that then? Yeah, I don't know really. But yeah, if we are defensive, we are also afraid of being vulnerable and be ourselves and whatever. And then obviously we close ourselves down and can't be open, and then our hearts can't be open. And I think I've been pretty open-hearted though, but more so in the spiritual sense. I've also talked about this before. Oh, I talk so much, I expose everything. No, I don't actually. But also when I've been in love, my love for people cannot end. I don't understand how to not love people I have loved. It's just impossible, because I love from a spiritual space. I love their essence and their potential, and I will always love that. But I've learned through experiences that I wish no one have to go through unless it's worth it, and it is worth it. It have been worth it though, but still I feel like there are people that I do not want anything to do with in this lifetime. At least we will see to come. But because of how destructive, harmful those situations have been, and how ruthless. There was one person I was in contact with, you could say. No, I was engaged with him even, but someone who, the first, even in the beginning when I met this person, I call him them, people around, teachers and whatnot, said, "Oh, he's so ruthless," and I couldn't see that in him. I saw something totally other, and I still understand that is there. That potential that I saw, that soul, it's there, but maybe sometimes also from this defensive ego space of fear, the ruthlessness have been there, the need to feel protected themselves or project things onto others that are their own, or so on. And yeah, I can see and understand that somewhat, but also the need to stay away from certain people, and the, even not the need, the, in some cases also the only alternative, really, whatever I would want. So yeah, but it doesn't diminish the love that was always there and will always be there. And I realized that when I talk to others, hey, someone, I don't see who you are, so you don't need to run away. I just sit here and chat by myself. So if you want to write something in the chat and talk with me or pull some tarot cards and whatnot, it's okay. Now it went away again. So anyways, yeah. So yeah, I don't know, I will sit here forever. It seems not getting anywhere in this wonderful book. Yeah. What was I going to say? Yeah, when I talk to others, talking about love and so on, it comes very much more so from an ego perspective, where just recently someone told me that if they don't get the same response, if they don't get love back, or that it's accepted in the way they want, let's say, then they go cold so quickly, so super cold like. And that's, to me, I've never even, I don't know what that is. I don't even understand what that is. But I'm not judging it. It's just, I mean, it's curious to me. But I also realize that it comes from a place more so of ego, what you want, or what kind of confirmation you want, rather than the love you feel for someone, or the love you. I mean, the love to me is that you also want someone the best for someone. You really want them to flourish. You want them to be happy. Yeah, I think I've always kind of known that I love people like others love their children, and I maybe think this is a part of. And I'm not saying that in a way that they shouldn't be responsible for themselves. Maybe I've taken over that sometimes, but anyway, or tried to, whatever, controlling. But I think that. I mean, in a shamanic way, I think that's part of my being, that I have that sense of that it's like Mother Earth. She wants to care for all her children, no matter what, or father, son, or whatever. Doesn't divide, doesn't care if someone have the whatever diagnosis or whatever they have done. The love or the blessings that are there, that are here, they are for everyone who come across them. Who could I choose who that would be for, kind of, you know. Yeah, but when it comes to falling in love and that kind of thing, to me, I don't know, I've never had that. It never bothered me much if they didn't feel the same. I felt happy feeling the love inside of me, and sometimes overwhelming. Overwhelming is oftentimes overwhelmingly so. Yeah, but still, I was, to me, it have been like a happiness that person exists in the world at the same time as me. Wow, that's like a miracle. But I gradually also started to see the wow, I'm myself. I'm this similar miracle existing as I am right now. And I actually think this comes from someone who passed away when I was quite young. He was 19, and I was 2. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, maybe I was 8. No, I was 19 too, I think. Anyways, he was about to turn 20. And it was so shocking experience. This was someone I had some sort of fling with. And he was so athletic. He was boxing, and he had such great body and beautiful. I mean, he was such a sweetheart in many ways, although this silent, cooler type of person, but still, how can I say, he had a presence, yeah, that was really there. I can't describe it better right now, but anyways, the shock of him passing in a car crash kind of changed me also, so that I think that's part of why I just saw that beauty in all those people that I met. Not all those, but some of those, I mean, it sounded like there was so extremely many. That I could like love each hair on their hand, or like this devotional, over the top kind of in love ability. I would call it an ability, being so devoted as I've been, and so full of love, so such with such an ability to love as I've had, and I think I might have it still. But now I'm also a little bit smarter at the same time. Hi, someone. If you want to chat, or I want me to pull some cards, tarot cards, whatever, feel free to do so if you see the chat here. Otherwise, just stay when I talk to myself if you like. So yeah, I'm actually reading from a yoga book, but I'm starting to ramble in the middle of it. So anyways, I've been like that, and just recently, or some years ago now, I had this experience again where I was like if you understand, this teenager kind of falling in love. Yeah, to me it's amazing. It's like, I don't know, and it brings such a spark, not sparkly, I don't know how to say it, but it brings such a happiness inside of myself. So therefore, I mean, of course, maybe I would like to be loved back, but that's not like the aim. The aim is that that person exists, and that I wish them happiness, even if they would find out with someone else, whatever. That's where I come from. And also, maybe I've been super afraid of having people in a soulful way intimate, so maybe I prefer that also sometimes. But yeah, I'm more brave and more smart now. It have taken some time to get there, but I think I'm there. Well, let's see now. The search for, now I'll continue to read here then. The search for a trustworthy place of truth to deposit the ego is, gosh, what the word fraught. I don't know what that word is. Fraught with pitfalls and delusions. The search of a path crowded with dead ends and egomaniacs. Oh, this word I remember, egomaniacs. I mean, this is the second time I've ever read that word, actually. It was here on. Someone wrote it. The search for a trustworthy is a path crowded with dead ends and egomaniacs. It is by grace and good actions that an opportunity to find a path and the lesson the ego comes to you. Let's see, I must read that again. It is by grace and good actions that an opportunity to find a path and to lessen the ego comes to you. Yeah. You teach without your individual agenda involved. That's it. Your uniqueness as a person always comes through. Your capacity to utilize your ego in order to reach the students where they are and to elevate them is also there. But the power is the golden chain. Yeah, those who come before you, even if it wouldn't be in this tradition, actually, I feel so blessed by those teachers I've had in various ways. The one which you teach, or one of them, I would say I have to learn from several, but the main one, I would say, so blessed, so happy for her still, and I miss her so much. Yeah, but as I say, the teacher, when you're ready, the teacher appear, and when you're ready, the teacher disappear. Kind of, it's meant to be, but they don't. They stay at the same time. Yeah, they do. But yeah. So, but this whole thing, it's very easy for me. This thing without an agenda, although certain things that I teach, actually, I have to have an idea of what I will do when, and the process itself, which is not mine to begin with, that I've been given or have discovered also, but in various ways. Then, yeah. And I'm so thankful. There was something Thich Nhat Hanh, which I also found one day. I was so pissed off at my friend Matthias, where I was going to meet him in Haga in Gothenburg, and there was this second-hand shop with books. I was so irritated that he was late again. He was like this. He was always late, anyways. But I laugh at it now because that treasure I wouldn't have found without him being late. So I bought a book by Thich Nhat Hanh then, and since then I was floored by his loving wisdom and everything. And one thing he talked about in some of his teachings was this whole the vertical and the what is that called now? The other one. Yeah. Well, anyways, our ancestors, our physical ancestors, and those that are also on the same level as us. Can you say here in life? Let's say, and also our spiritual ancestors. And I've connected with that very much. The whole thing that my physical ancestors, they mean the world to me. I love them, and I want to stay connected to them, and I want to also, in ways that I may be able to heal them as well, and have done so a bit as well. And them me as well. But also the spiritual ancestors are actually they are part of a chain. They are part of this consciousness, yes, you can say, also that aren't limited. They flow through me, not only me, but others as well. But I really appreciate that and feel so grateful for it. And I understand that it doesn't come from me as in my limited ego self. I really feel thankful to them, grateful for them, and appreciate everything they have given. And that can also be teachers that I've never met, that I found their teachings. There is also a Buddhist saying that I have discovered several times as well, that the teaching itself, and that can come in handy when it comes to this for some people, but that can be, I think there is a story about it, but I forgotten. But it's something like that. When there was a teacher, I think this was then Buddhist teacher of sorts, such a whatever monk there, who taught something that person didn't understand themselves, but the ready student was enlightened by it. They understood because they were ready. They understood what it meant or what it said. So you can actually pass on these gems, these gifts, these treasures, even if you don't understand them yourself. Those that are ready for them, those seeds that you plant, they will bloom where they are when they come to soil that is red. No, but where they can grow. Yeah. I must stop talking soon. I do this for myself, but I share way much here now. Okay, I haven't even gotten one page yet for 2 hours. Oh, wow. That's impressive, if nothing else. Let's see. But as I said, to me, this not having my own agenda is so easy. I also mentioned this before, but one who asked me about this coven or witchy things, if you want to create your legacy, she said, and yeah, I have nothing against that, but why would I care when I'm not here? Let's say, I mean, that's not the point. That's not like an aim even. The thing I wish to do is to keep these wonderful things, these wonders, alive in the world for my even for kids that grow up, and to be able to find these things later on, even the Ayurveda and even the yoga and even the witchy things and the shamanic things, all the treasures. I would love for them to be able to find it somewhere. The things that have lit up my soul, the things that are my passions and that make me happy every day. I want to share it with, of course, those that are around now who want it, and I want to develop it myself more so as well. And I feel that is why I'm here, even in life. Yeah. But it's not to create like my legacy. It have nothing to do with me. It have everything to do with life and happiness itself. Yeah. All right. So let's see. Interesting. No one comes in. I mean, some of the not things, but some of the people that I have been in contact with on this channel before, they live in Canada or USA and so on. At least they pretend to. No, but they do, some of them. And so it may be totally the wrong time for them, because I think some of them maybe would have checked in otherwise. But now I can sit there for myself. Tuning into the golden chain, the Adi mantra. Oh, this is called the Adi. It was not Adi Shakti as I thought. This is Om Namo Gurudev Namo, which you always do at the beginning of every tuning in. Oh, this is that. Don't they do that now then? I mean, I think they do. Most do that still. And I wouldn't feel good doing this form of yoga without this. Absolutely not. I didn't know exactly this though. So I haven't read this before apparently. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. So see sound and mantra chapter later on. Okay. In Kundalini Yoga, we always start a class or a personal practice with this mantra. We also class. I maybe should do that for these readings, even if this is not a class. This is just me ranting and trying to learn through my mind as well. We acknowledge the technology of transference in the form of the golden chain or golden link by tuning in with the Adi mantra Om Namo Gurudev Namo. The Adi mantra is the first technology of a Kundalini Yoga student or teacher. It is a meditation, it is a state of consciousness, it is a link between you as a finite personality and you as a flow of the infinite consciousness that guides the Kundalini energy. Wow, the words, don't you hear it? It's wonderful. At that moment, there must be a merger between you and the teacher. You must deposit your ego and serve for no gain. You must link to the word of the Guru, the infinite teacher, to speak beyond the tangles of time and space, and you must project it to the level of the student. Consciousness and compassion join like left and right hands to elevate all who will hear. Well, I feel like I have to do this now then, right? Okay, I will do it then. No one is here, and I will still not have this up for long. So maybe a week, maybe not even. So let's see. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. And then afterwards, it usually is also kind of protective. I think this is it's the one that goes Ad Guru, no, how is it now? Ad Gurename, Yugat Gurename, Sat Gurename, Siri Gurudevaname. But I don't think it's on here now. Let's see. Wow. All right. Yogi Bhajan on the Adi mantra. Anytime you want to manifest a link with spirituality, Om Namo Gurudev Namo is the link. You know how when you enter a parking lot and you cross the line and pull the ticket out, this is the mantra. You manifest infinity through the grace of Guru Ram Das when you chant this mantra. I have to do that before I read this now, right? In the beginning. Many of you are going to enter Shaktipad. This mantra can help you with the grace of Guru Ram Das. What does that mean, even Shaktipad? Om Namo Gurudev Namo is a call. It is a call which can penetrate through any Maya and manifest God and Guru, the Supreme Consciousness. I think that's so beautiful also. It is the voucher of the divine Shakti, the Kundalini. It's described in Kundalini Yoga, it's described, the divine, that let's say, it's described as the unlimited creative consciousness. That kind of describes both Shiva and Shakti, right? The energy and the consciousness. And my yogic name is Tejpal Kaur. Yeah, by the way. This is why the fifth Guru, Guru Arjan, the son of Guru Ram Das, chanted Ad Guru Name, let's see, Ad Guru Name, yeah, that's the coming one that I said. Ad Guru Name, Yugad Guru Name, Sat Guru Name, Siri Guru Deve Name. Siri Guru Deve Name is the manifestation of Shakti, of the presence of Guru Ram Das. This may be chanted after the Adi mantra. Oh yeah, it usually is. So I will do that now too. Although I didn't do it immediately after. All right. Ad Gure Name, Yugat Gure Name, Sat Gure Name, Siri Guru Deve Name. Ad Gure Name, Yugat Gure Name, Sat Gure Name, Siri Guru Deve Name. And usually I do the first one 3 times and this 2 times. And I think it differs. And it also differs how they sing it. I've done that since the beginning, since my first teachers on the classes did it this way. It's kind of sometimes it goes up and down a little bit more. And this is kind of very calm in sense. I like that one still. Well, it was the beginning one. Okay, I have a lot of new messages. I will see if someone have put the messages in Facebook for me here. No. Someone liked something. Okay, moving on. So maybe I have to tune out also here. But it is a kind of actually, I haven't learned that yet, but it's a certain when it comes to the timing when you tune out. This is like the first things you do when you start a career or so on. Also the classes apparently, but then you when you end, you also do a song, sort of, and also a Satnam several times. And the Satnam, or 3 times, that should be like the Sat have a certain, you should, I mean, it's measured how long the Sat should be and the Nam. And I don't know that exactly, but I used to do them very long sometimes. Yeah. Never mind. So, the spiritual teacher. Now I actually read 1 page in 2 hours. Yay. Applaud. The spiritual teacher. The teacher is an analytical sandpaper who scrapes away your attachment so that yourself can reflect your essence, Yogi Bhajan. The interesting thing is, I talk about myself as a teacher, and here they mean also that teacher are spiritual teachers, or the divine itself, maybe you could say, does this towards us, and life itself does that. I mean, it helps us in ways we sometimes don't appreciate, because that's the only way to reach us sometimes, you know. The virtue of a teacher. You do not understand the basic virtue of a spiritual teacher. A teacher is one who analytically analyzes all your defects on the basis of the facts, and then gives you a chance to grow. Yeah, obviously. Without such an assessment and opportunity, nobody has ever grown in the spiritual world. One who has not grown in the spiritual world can never enjoy this earth and have happiness. God gives you the teacher, and the teacher will give you God. It is a full exchange system. Yogi Bhajan, 1978. Interesting and beautiful. And there is a commentary. A virtue is the special strength, and quality that someone has that can be used and called into service. A teacher is not a substitute for a father or a mother. A teacher's virtue is not that he or she is someone who will cater to and quell the pained cries of your ego and your fantasies. The teacher is not a psychotherapist who is supposed to listen to all your woes and then help you knit them in a new pattern. The teacher is an analytical sandpaper that polishes your surfaces. The teacher scrapes away attachments to the desires, the mind, and the body. The newly polished surface of the self can then reflect the soul and essence of consciousness without confusion. Many people look for a teacher who will only tell them how great they are and give them sympathy and hope. Yeah, this I talked about. These things are readily available from friends. A teacher is a friend of your consciousness and the natural predator of your ego. Wow, yeah, I can relate actually. This is so beautiful. I love this. This gets me exhilarated. Near a teacher, all your nonsense will arise. It will seem to be provoked. How else can the sandpaper do its job? All you have to do is hold still, become committed, and look to the disciplines so you can work it all out. If you can understand the virtue of a teacher, you will never be disappointed or led astray. You will also gain the strength to learn and under confrontation and under self-confrontation. Wow, I love this. This sits really well with me, but I'm not sure I would love a teacher well like this. Mine, as I said, she is so sweet and so patient with me. Wonderful. I think I needed that maybe. But I also, as I said, I crave and I search for the things that actually pushes my buttons and breaks those defenses that I have so that I see clearer. I like that, although it sometimes is not what I wish in the moment to see. But actually now when I did this little mantra, don't you see, I've already read another page. The difference in focus or whatever. I think this energy came to aid here. So I didn't stray and went all overboard. Yeah, awesome. Thank you. So, okay. But this is wonderful. I mean, I so much love this. a teacher is a friend of your consciousness and the natural predator of your ego. Wow. And I have this puma as one of my closest allies, my totems or power animals. And which was odd from the beginning until I knew I was going to work with this Munaki shamanic path as well. But I didn't know that. I got the puma long before then. And it didn't really, I was surprised because I wasn't like drawn into those areas, so specifically where that one wanders and works in the world. Anyway, yeah, I see this in others also who want to do friendly things with me. I think I'm kind of boring. No, but I like to do that sometimes also if it doesn't contain too much of just talking bad about others. There are certain things, certain social environments or situations that I just get bored of quickly. I mean, I need some soul connection for it to feel real, and also for it to be nourishing in some kind of way. I don't like to just hang out, like very seldom, if so, and very short time. No, I'm just kidding. But I know that some people probably want me in that sense. But that's not what they get. I also read this long ago. Long ago, at the time when I met this guy that I talked about from when I was like 19. Not the one who passed away, but the one that I met at this similar time. Anyway, it said that you wanted a woman, you found a soul, you're disappointed. That kind of followed me because I really felt that this one wasn't really, that was not the aim. He got someone on the hook that had much more, like yeah, it was not the aim. Yeah. Anyways, and that could be the thing for many, maybe that's still the case. But here also, a teacher is a friend of your consciousness and the natural predator of your ego. And I think I try not to be too much of this all the time with everyone, but it's like I get easily bored otherwise. And it's not like it's one-sided. I like to myself see through things also with myself. I like to grow. I like to understand. So it's not that I go and poke on other people's things all the time, and also it depends on where it comes from. If someone comes from a place of trying to give back or put you down or whatever, like, well, aren't you like blah blah blah, in that kind of attitude, then it wouldn't work well, because then it doesn't come from a space of, a hard space where you really really want to give someone a treasure. You just want to, it's just a battle of the egos, then someone trying to bring you down rather to keep themselves a little bit hopefully higher up, which is I don't go for those kinds of things. Yeah. Yeah, I really love this. And some people don't want someone who is a friend of their consciousness and a natural predator of their egos. Many people don't want that. I kind of like that. I really love that. That's like being in bliss and heaven, I feel, in a positive way, because Earth is a good place to have a heaven in. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. That's what I would love. Someone that actually help you grow then, because your limitations aren't the only they don't see that. They see that you are even more so than that, and that's love, I feel. Yeah, a friend of your consciousness, and also someone who is a friend of your fearless nature, of your eternal nature, infinite nature, who knows who you are as a soul and know that you can do anything. You are everything. Someone who can love you from that perspective. Wow, Anyways, let's see. If you can understand the true virtue of a teacher, you will never be disappointed or led astray. You will also gain the strength to learn under confrontation and under self-confrontation. Yeah, that's that's tricky for many. Even those who really, really try for a while, maybe to. The thing is, it also demands very much honesty in the communication. You cannot like hold things back and try to conform, because then you will lash out afterward. I mean, if you try to learn from someone or so on, you have to be straightforward. You have to be direct and say what you mean at the time. Otherwise you aren't ready for it. As well as if you really try to, you want to learn, and after a while maybe you still feel that it pushes. I mean, it comes to that limit where you get defensive, and kind of lashes back in a sometimes also sometimes rather passive aggressive, and not in that straightforward way, but yeah, it happens. It's not easy to learn this way, but this is what I love to get it also. But as I said, it's a fine line energetically. I think though most people, I mean, we can also misunderstand each other and maybe have to clear things out, and what did you mean and what did I mean and so on. But I feel that those who can feel vibes energetically easily know when something comes from a place of love. It can still feel hurtful, and your ego can still get triggered to maybe lash out or get defensive or accusive or whatever. But you kind of know the core there is actually to both nourish, but also to help you expand, help you to be the strongest and best you can ever be. It's not from some kind of and it's not even from an idea that you are less than you should be. It's not like a judgmental place, even though it can sound harsh sometimes. But those who feel energy, they kind of know that, I feel. Yeah. I have, as I mentioned, my friend Matthias, that I love dearly. I mean, I don't know. We have have some confrontations many times, and but we always kind of had that vibe thing. We know where it comes from. Yeah, and I feel that with others too. But I also feel when it's not. That's the thing. So if someone come at you from an ego place and try to, so to speak, teach, while their aim is not from consciousness, if you say it's not from this love space, then it becomes a totally different thing, and abusive, and yeah, it can be interpreted that way if you are super defensive and someone mean well, even. Yeah, it's not always easy to know, but I think my own tuning is quite clear. I kind of easily feel if there is a dissonance, even the slightest, among people. I don't always say it, but I kind of feel it long before, oftentimes before it comes out in words or actions. I kind of detect it in a psychic sense, I guess, or so, energetically. And yeah, It's things like that you cannot really describe. You have to know, you know, you have to understand yourself, of course, more and more, and also energy and so on to know it. It's nothing you can teach. There is also another thing. There was someone who started this medicine wheel some years ago, and who didn't want to. She didn't want to do the practices, the energy. I mean, working with energy, while still wanting to have these, let's call them capabilities then. And you cannot. How could you? I mean, it's like saying to work as a shaman is working with energy. So if you do not know, feel, or see, I mean, if you don't know energy, and if you don't work with energy yourself to learn to understand it, how can you then reach that? It's like as if you could just get it written down on a paper, yeah, and then give it to someone. Here, go out, do my bidding. No, I'm just kidding, but you know, yeah, as if as if that even was possible. Even if I would want to, I couldn't. You know, you have to get acquainted with your energy system, and learning by practicing and learning by experience what that is. When it comes to almost, yeah, I guess everything, but yeah, especially these kinds of things. And until you know, you do not know, you know. What was that? I have to do this mantra again so I get on track. Now I'm just, let's see now. All right. Yeah. The guru, throughout these teachings and in this manual, you see the term guru referred to in a variety of contexts. It's present day culture, East and West, the term guru is most commonly thought of as a living human teacher. Guru is actually an agent of change. Yeah, I think I've read this, but I'm glad I'm reading this again because I like that. A catalyst of transformation that awakens the spiritual knowledge, dispelling darkness and bringing light and deep understanding. Wow, this is so much the medicine wheel here described, I feel. The Guru is alive inside of everyone. We consciously choose to tune into that inner wisdom. And in fact, as teachers of Kundalini Yoga, we do not, no. As teachers of Kundalini Yoga, we do just that when we chant the Adi Mantra and at the start of each Kundalini Yoga practice. Translating Om Namo Guru Dev Namo, Yogi Bhajan describes Guru as infinite teacher. The force called Guru is alive inside you and within your students. It is embodied in beings who live with enlightened consciousness, and it is perfectly encoded in the Shabd Guru, the technology of Nad, the recitation of which awakens your soul. I also think about this whole, I mean, this correlates perfectly with the whole, we all are Buddha, but some of us does not know it yet, you know. We have this Buddha or Christ consciousness inside in us. We are it. All right. And also, as the medicine wheel says, these different kinds of the different perspectives. The first we start with in the south is when we feel that God is outside of us, and in West that God is outside of us in the south, and in West that God is inside of us, and in the north that it goes through us, and in the east that it's us. That's who we are. Someone went here and left again, so whatever. It's good to see, but I don't see who it is. See if someone chat with me soon. Say something. Okay, the Guru's Gate. Everybody in one lifetime has one chance to serve one master. That is the law. Wow. Yeah. The opportunity doesn't come back again. Remember, no master even comes back again. No master ever comes back again. Mhm. The opportunity doesn't come back again. I have come to carry the message of Guru Ram Das, the light of the times. It is not my proposition that you should um, love me or hate me, or if you follow me or not. Mhm. If you love yourself, you will follow the truth. Truth is what I share with you. If you don't want to share it, fine, don't feel bound. I want you to progress, but never progress like slaves. Progress like free, graceful individuals. Otherwise, even being infinite in experience is useless. Wow, this is so beautiful. And she's so good at this, my teacher. She's so good at this. I want you to, don't feel bound. Not like slaves, yeah. I want you to progress, but never progress like slaves. Progress like free, graceful individuals. Yeah. Remember, nobody comes to the Guru's gate if it's not earned already, but it is still yourself who must have the will to enter the gate or not. Yogi Bhajan, 1978. And the commentary, Yogi Bhajan is an acknowledged master of Kundalini Yoga and White Tantric Yoga. He has attained self-mastery. He will pass this way once. He will leave a huge body of teachings. Anywho, no, not anywho. Yeah, it says actually anywho. Sorry, I'm too tired for this. Anywho, wish to travel in the wake of such a huge ship are welcome. Mhm. There is room for all, but you will not be carried. No, you have to carry yourself. I know. You must experience the grace within yourself on this path. You are not to be slaves or to follow blindly, but if you choose to travel this way, do it with your whole heart and soul. Take care of the day to day, to the breath to breath process. Oh, this is so beautiful. And yeah, and yeah, and guru, the word guru even is a negative word, very much so for most people in the West. It's like someone who tell you what to do and you should be slaves to their biddings. Like, okay, here Yogi Bhajan conveys the attitude of certainty about the teachings. He shows compassion for all who walk this way, and he shows steadfastness without doubt. He speaks to a question that many people ask: are there many ways to the infinite? The answer is yes. Or the answer is no, the only way is to live truthfully. Yeah. So why choose anything if there are so many things? This is very interesting, and I think even if you haven't articulated that question, I think it's in the minds of most people who search in a spiritual way. There are just one way. The only way is to live truthfully. Yeah. If you're true to yourself, it's part of you. It's inside of you. It's genuine you. Yeah. You can never go wrong from there. The answer is that it is truly your ego that has the illusion of choosing. Yeah. You are chosen by the teaching and the path. If your past actions have polished you enough that you shine, consciousness will pick you up. It's so beautiful. I just love this. Somehow you will meet teachers to guide you to the choices that can elevate you to the truth. Oh, how beautiful. Fall backwards. The answer is that it is truly your ego that has the illusion of choosing. You are chosen by the teaching and the path. If your past actions have polished you enough that you shine, consciousness will pick you up. Somehow you will meet teachers to guide you to the choices that can elevate you to the truth. And the thing is also all my life in this lifetime, I mean, I've been curious myself as well, but I've also come across those who have given me so freely from the wow. I mean, Annie, one of my teachers, the first grade in Reiki that I was initiated into when I was like, I don't know, 24 maybe. or something, maybe a little bit more, 25 maybe. She also taught Ambres chakra flow massage, and she gave me that often, not weekly, but I got it very often, and that treasure to just have my systems or chakras and everything like pampered. I was really pampered, but to experience that, to get that love, and the Reiki healing as well from her, and other things. Just she opened up so much, and in such a loving way. Although I was skeptical about the whole new agey, what I called gurus then, what I thought was like those who charge a lot for saying that we have the one truth, and did call themselves, whatever, and took a lot of money for from others' misery, let's say. Yeah, I was opposed that, but the things that she shared with me though was really beautiful as well. And then the other things that I met also, and as I said, I've craved it also, I've searched it, but it also have fallen into my path, and I feel so blessed that it have, and in exactly the time that I needed it, for sure. But I didn't know that at the time. Obviously, I start to realize that have been the case all the time. But previously, I thought it was like coincidences, maybe, or I was happy and felt blessed, but I really didn't understand the consciousness hold me up all the time, and come with what I need all the time. And for you, that is the same, of course. So yeah, that's very beautiful. Oh, I love this. And apparently I have been ready for quite some things, and also the whole thing that I crave it so much shows me, and the how easy accessible it is to me as well. And to me, it haven't actually meant too much which path it is. I felt that, I mean, answers on each, I mean, if you call things certain things, it becomes like a path, let's say. And then you do something else and you call it something else. But it may be, to me, it is the same path, just different ways. It's like if you go on a road and it changes the name on the road, it's still the same road I go on. It's not that I've turned away from where I've been also. And it feels, to me, or if you say, if it's the river, it would be better to say like that. It's the same flow of consciousness, even if it changes then the name of the river further down or closer to the ocean. I don't know. Yeah, whatever. So I've never had the need to dismiss what have gone before, although certain specific things in it that have been maybe manipulated or interpreted in very narrow ways or dogmatic ways that I can see in a different light now. Still, I embrace the whole path, the whole flow of these marvelous gifts, and the answers from spirits that I have received, where on whatever path, they are as valid. I can't say that. Well, I can say this. I will say this actually. I can if anyone listen this far. Wow, I have so fun by myself. I was born this way, by the way. I had fun all the time when I was a kid. I was so happy by myself, and then I had also friends. I was not without friends in any way, and lived in this tiny village, pretty idyllic. So there were kids everywhere. There were always friends if you want. I mean, if I wanted to. So, but I loved to be by myself, as I still do apparently. And sometimes I felt that they like, oh no, I wanted to be with them also. It was fun, but they kind of disturbed my happy time where I was, whatever I was doing. So yeah. Anyways, But what I was going to say is, what was it now? What was it now? It was something I was going to say about that whole thing growing up. I don't know. No. Let's see. What was it I was going to say? Maybe I come back to it later. Then I just drifted off in this whole flow of the river. I don't know, but anyways, yeah. I still. Oh, I also knew even then. I also knew from the beginning, when I was tiny, that this is the essence of who I am, whatever I call it. And this whole saying also that when the shaman calls, a spirit answers, or spirits, it is usually called. As well as when the spirits call, the shaman answers. And I have always answered the call, I feel. No, that's not true even, because there was at times where I felt very awkward when I was a teen, and the call was quite strong, and I felt like I couldn't deal with it. I didn't know how to, so I turned my back on it a bit and I didn't try to be like normal in a sense, but to me, then it was in the frame of Christianity. That was like a mocking thing. I mean, it felt like I couldn't really connect with seeing myself in that. I loved the whole love, let's say. I loved a lot of it still, but the way it was presented, and I couldn't see myself related to that almost. I mean, I felt really strange. So I tried to detach as much as possible, although it was calling me, like consciousness was like, hello, everywhere all the time. I mean, it was super clear even then. But I didn't know what to do with it really. But now I know that it was the same thing. And now I remember what I was going to say also. I mean, that the shaman, it was that I also mainly, and it have been seeking me. Even when I tried to avoid it, it still came back, and hello, now it's here, and oftentimes pushed me into sort of a corner where I had to realize, wow, I maybe need my greater consciousness also here. Yeah, okay. But what I was going to say is that one thing is that I can say, I love all the things that I do, but when it comes to whether you call it Wicca then or witchcraft, Wicca then have its ethics and religious boundaries, you could say, or it have a structure, rather, you could say, which is very free, but it's sometimes mocked a little bit by witches. I mean, other witches, because Wiccans are also witches. What is? Yeah, okay, it's still that sound, but as if it would be like softer, weaker, less insightful, let's say. But the thing is that it have this whole never harm included in that. Still, you do whatever you want to. I mean, as a shaman also, or a healer or whatever, everything you are able to do in a good way, or even if you are strong in your muscles or whatever, you can still harm more, or you can help more, if you need to carry someone, or if you need to punch them, need to punch them, you don't need to. Yeah, but it's the same way with energy. I mean, whatever you can do to heal, you can do to harm. So it comes with more responsibility, the more capacity you have, or the more you understand your own power in whatever way it is, mentally or whatever. And so I still, what I want to say, however I should put the words now, but witchcraft is the absolute strongest path. And I guess that is, I love the Wiccan path, but I can't say that I have held myself. I mean, maybe I've digressed a bit. No, I'm just kidding. But I mean, I don't like. I don't like to have. Okay, it's like this. What I didn't like about it for a while, but I think I like it more now. And in group settings, I really like it. But personally, the whole boundary thing is something I sometimes dislike. I mean, no, I don't really still do that, but for a while I did. Yeah, but the practice of witchcraft still is the same, you could say. I guess so. I don't know every witch in the world, but that is the strongest path that I am aware of. Although everything have so much to give, but I also feel most reluctant when it comes to the witches things to share them as well, because of their strength. It's like giving a super sharp knife to a 3-year-old. I mean, or something. I mean, probably they wouldn't have. When it comes to these kinds of things, I'm disciplined because I'm so passionate about it. By the way, because in other cases I'm not. In most things, not at all. But yeah, because this, I just love the things. But anyway, so I'm reluctant because no, I'm not reluctant, but I hesitate and I take great care because I don't want them to harm either themselves or others, and I know how easily that can be done. And also I know how powerful it is. Some people also say like this when they talk about these things. I've heard that on like videos or so on. Oh, it's not like in those serious see, or but actually it's way more powerful than that. And it sounds untrue, I know, but it still is true. And those who know, you know, they do. So yeah, but you have to start in a certain. I mean, it's when I teach also in that way, in some to some degree, I see the awe, how they get like so surprised by the reality of these things, and how that really like their jaws are drop by starting to understand their own potential and capacity. And of course that is one thing that have been, maybe that's why of course it's why it have always been held down or painted in negative colors, let's say, or like in a negative way, because it's scary for others who want to dominate people, that they find their own power and potential and develop themselves to deal with that, no, but to access that and develop that. Yeah. So of course that's scary, but that is the absolute most powerful of all the things I've come across. And it can't be compared exactly. No things can be compared to others, although I feel as it everything I have found things all the time. I can say it like that. But as I said, of the medicine wheel, that's a good description of the perspectives change, where you don't have to lose your perspective of, if you then call it God or the divine or universe, whatever you call it, which I love the Kundalini expression of the unlimited creative consciousness. Unlimited means also that it can be limited, otherwise it wouldn't be unlimited. So anyways, so this whole thing that, yeah, God or the divine is outside of us, and the divine is inside of us, and the divine flows through us, works through us, and the divine is us, or is myself. It's not that you have to lose one of those perspectives to access another. Yeah. Yeah. But I think it's scary for freedom is scary for those who want to control others. I mean, the others' freedom is scary then. So if you understand that you are the creator, you understand that you are the divine, you are God or goddess, then wow. And it's not in an ego way, because that would be not understanding. Yeah. But still, it scares those who want to control others, pretty much. Yeah. It's very threatening also to the whole system, you could say. I mean, structures that deals with. I mean, structures that are held by fear and control from some. Yeah, controlled by fear. Yeah, that is when you get more and more confident and realize your own power. That is threatening to their egos. Yeah, and the ego structures, of course. Yeah. So it's understandable. It's understandable, but it's also the most powerful. Absolutely. Yeah. So I also think, because that is a tradition that does not. They don't go out trying to, find students, or like that tradition is maybe passed on sometimes in some traditions, but I mean, to, let's say, their children or whatever. But I mean, as older than children. But usually it's others who seek it that it's given to, and that's also for the same reason. I think it's not for everyone. I mean, it is for everyone, so it's there for everyone, but unless you seek it, you probably aren't ready for it, I would assume. Because yeah. Because yeah. Wow, this 3 hours, I have to go to bed in it now. I haven't even eaten because I forgot. Let's come on now. Read the one more page here. Oh, I wish I would read a lot more. I will have to read more, but I will just focus now then, because otherwise I never get. I really want to read about these things. Yeah. What did I read now? The Guru. Yeah. Yeah. The Guru's Gate. Oh, that was the one I was reading about. Yeah. Here, Yogi Bhajan conveys the attitude of certainty about the teachings. Yeah, I said that also. Did I read? Oh, no, I did read this. Yeah. The answer is that it is truly your ego that has the illusion of choosing. Yeah, I read this too. Yeah, the beautiful thing. The choice is in true depth only. Let's see. That choice in true depth only comes once, because truth is total. It is unified and complete. It is beyond the divisions of the mind. Oh gosh, how I read. I have to do that again. The choice That choice in true depth only comes once, because truth is total, it is unified and complete, it is beyond the divisions of the mind. The problem is to be able to recognize it, for that you must know the characteristics of your own ego. For that you must know them. It is not so much a matter of the details of 20 paths. If your window is dirty, nothing will make sense. Do a sadhana and take the highest of what you have attracted. Then keep up. Which is the witchy things for me then. It actually is also the not the lowest, no, I wouldn't say, but the one of my first teachers, I once asked, "Are you?" I was like 25 maybe, and I wrote. She lived not close by, and I wrote, "Are you enlightened?" And she wrote, "Now I find that fun." I didn't understand what was fun with that at the time, but she, no, I'm rather down darkened or something. She wrote, and she showed it like a giggle, in a giggly way. So it was I understand it was a joke of sorts, but and yeah, that's very fun though now. Anyways, yeah, that's the strongest path that I know. But still, as I say, all these things, to me, they flow together, and the Ayurveda and the yoga go so hand in hand. And also with that, because it's the nature, the connection with nature, and the flows and the rhythms of nature is so connected both to yoga and Ayurveda as well. And yeah, all these things, all the truths aren't divided, because they are true. Where could there be a contradiction there? I mean, yeah, it's in our minds then, or our mindsets, and our focus on the fingers and not on the moon, so to speak. you know but yeah, these things, the other things that I do, these things, practices, and they add a lot, they add so much. And also the medicine wheel and so on, and also it connects to others who aren't ready, maybe, as I would call it, as to step up to that, upgrade to that level of the witchy things, I would maybe say. But we're down. No, but they I can still share these things that I'm passionate about, even if it's on a level that sometimes feel that I mean, maybe I can't show all my colors, let's say. Yeah, all the power. But in a way, I can touch onto, I can sow seeds, of love here and there, and open some perspectives. Yeah, and I learn as I go as well. I learn so much from others meanwhile, and that's as fun. Also with my tarot students, for example, now they I try to avoid it sometimes because they are harsh. No, they aren't. They are very sweet. But sometimes when they do layouts and tests on each other and so on, they do something for me as well, or they wish to do so. And that's a gift. And usually also when sometimes people that are in the beginning of something, they are so clear. They don't even know how clear they are, when they do certain things. Later on, they can be blurrier for a while, and but so I mean, I'm this whole self confrontation. I meet that too. I can't get away from it when I do these things, because they will say what they see. Okay, so I get my bits and shares of that too. Yeah. Anyways, all about gurus. Gosh, can I even? I wish I read more about this. I read a little bit more though. because I just want to not get through this. I want to learn, but I can keep going for a little bit more. All about gurus. I want to discuss a most controversial subject: the nature and need for a spiritual teacher or guru. We do not understand how to be students or how to think of a genuine teacher. Subconsciously, as a culture, we are rebels and fear authority. For our own growth and success, it is important to curiously discuss the guru, why you need it, what it does for you, and when you need it. Let us begin with a clear definition. The guru is the word of wisdom coming through a person who has attained a state of consciousness where he or she can speak the infinite truth under all circumstances. Attaining this state is a difficult qualification and cannot be compromised. Yeah, to me, the witchy things are the absolute highest. But these practices, as I said, go hand in hand very much. And I have always also been drawn to the East, very much so, like India, Shiva Shakti, and China, like Kuan Yin, those kinds of things. Although I worked with coven that were more into Celts, I don't understand. I'm so drawn to that now. I love that so much. That's a part of my soul as well. But it's interesting how I always wanted somewhere else. Like I don't know, and the fairy, everything like that. I just love that now. I wasn't there right then and there, but so to me, this have always been natural, and also this puma, as I mentioned, or this mountain lion cougar. When I got in touch with both channeling Pachamama later on, also, but this tradition from Peru, this is just part of my heart in a way that is. In a way, I mean, I can't even grade it. I mean, everything interacts with everything else. So I couldn't say that. It depends on how deep you can go in each, of course. I mean, you can go however deep in those practices, but the shamanism is different from the witchcraft, because in shamanism you work with energy and you commune and you or communicate, and you heal and you do a lot of things in shamanistic work. Also dream the world into being, which is sort of a witchy way, but it's quite different still from witchy things. What was I going to say with that then? I don't know, but yeah, I don't know. I just mean that that teaching and the teachers that I've had and being connected to, they are the one that I now appreciate the most. Although everyone else have given a lot, or everyone else, but those that I met, everyone is teachers, obviously. Yeah, and the thing that was in my way then, aside from me having troubles with also food addictions and other stuff, I had this, I guess, fear of intimacy in a way, but they were so sweet. They kind of knew. I feel afterwards, I feel that they kind of knew everything, although some things went a bit maybe south. No, it didn't. It went well, but what I feel is that what prevented me at the time very much was the fear. That, I mean, there is a saying in Wicca, at least, of imperfect love and perfect trust. The love, I mean, it goes hand in hand, obviously, love and trust. But to me, that was not possible. I was not even close to be able to have total trust at the time. Now I could easily have total trust for them, but at the time, not. And it was not because of them. It was because of me and my inability to trust. I didn't even know almost what it was, I must say. And I've learned later on, and as well as have trust in myself, and the universe at large. But yeah, but now I absolutely have that trust to them. Yeah. But yeah, I was I had things to go through before I could reach that point. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, also those who try to figure it out. I mean, I love also the coven is fabulous, and as well as I think it's very difficult to. I mean, there are many solitary witches or weekends, but also it's like going through. Uh, like not vegetables, uh, bushy growth, how would you say bushes? Yeah, or somewhere where it's struggle to, there is no, path, there is no, although there are, maybe you can see a little bit sometimes a clearing with something, but I mean, yeah, it's very, very difficult without a teacher, especially I think that path, because there is so much, all kinds of information in all various degree of, I don't know, understanding, yeah, you could say, and also different ways of seeing things. But that's a good thing, though. But I mean, sometimes it's just upside down. Uh, but yeah, so it would be very, very. I mean, you will come across lots of obstacles, I think, working that path by yourself. But it's at the same time, it's always a solitary path in one way, because it have to do with your own practice and your own communication and what you do yourself. And that's central. You can't build your practice or, yeah, yeah, I call it practice. Then you can't build it on a group, on others, or a group, but you can share it and you can learn and so on. So yeah, that's another reason why I want to be accessible, because I feel so grateful, yeah, to those who taught me a bit. The impact of spiritual guidance. To investigate the need and impact of the spiritual guidance of the Guru, I surveyed the great cultures of the past. I journeyed to those areas and studied the ancient cultures and their technologies in detail. I found the old records of doctors and the hospitals where people were treated. As a result of my search, I came to a surprising conclusion. The mental turmoil that we suffer under now was not in existence then. People had a tremendous sense of guidance in life. They took life in stride. Once I discovered this, I studied the Greek masters of medicine. I wanted to know one thing. Did they use some type of drug or tranquilizer to calm people down? What was the reason for the high level of mental tranquility people had at the time? If they used tranquilizers, then there was nothing necessarily unique to the teachings or structure of the Greek mind that created such steadiness and sense of control. They did use herbs and potions to treat ailments, but there was no secret or widespread use of any drug to control or tranquilize the mind. The tranquility and excellence of the psyche at the time was due to something else. In the life of each individual, two things can happen. One is that circumstances and pressures of the time make you forget that you have capability and resources. The second thing is that under certain pressures, you forget that the stress and pressure are momentary and you give in to the pressure. That is the start of mental depression, and the inability to cope with life. Faith in the self. If all the spiritual teachers started to teach faith in the self and stopped teaching faith in a personality, this world would be heaven. Yeah, wouldn't it? That's what I try to do. Without then letting go of the self. You could love that too, as William Blake said. Infinity is in love with the creatures of time. Yeah, we can love ourselves as a limited being as well, and others as well. This existence with its infinite mind is at your command. You need guidance and training to experience and manifest this command. Many people who are known as gurus or spiritual teachers do you a disservice. Suppose I am a teacher. I speak a very good truth. I am very clever. I am beloved. I am entertaining. I am personal. People love to follow me. What good will it do if you are only attached to the personality and energy of Mr. A or Mrs. His following will become a train. Mr. or Mrs. A is the engine, and all those who follow become the rail cars. Yeah. The moment they start rolling on his words, they forget everything else. They are secure and satisfied. But if he loses steam or derails, then all is lost. Imagine instead that every rail car has its own motor, can drive itself, it can stay on track and reach the destination. From time to time, it comes to a workshop where a head mechanic can just take care of it, tune it up, and let it go on. That is a perfect system. Yeah. And this is how I would describe the Wicca that I got in touch with. Yeah. If all the spiritual teachers started to teach faith in the self and stopped teaching faith in a personality, this world would be heaven. I mean, it's obviously you're drawn to a match personality-wise with certain people and less so with others, and that's cool. But yeah, it shouldn't be the sole purpose of it, of course. Victory of the mind. The ashrams and gurus in ancient India used to be mental workshops. They taught and molded the minds of people to be clear, strong, and to act righteously under all circumstances. There is a system of education and guidance called Brahmacharya, I think you say, often translated as celibate. Okay, well. There is a more accurate interpretation. Brahm means infinite God. Achar means the action. Brahmacharya is a person who learns godlike action, not the one who is celibate. Okay. I wonder if you even say that in English, celibate. I don't know. Anyway, how we say it. People were taught about life, the intellect, and the self. People were trained to be Brahmacharya. This process of guidance and training by the guru was so effective that it could redirect and rebuild people who were very dysfunctional. In Tibet, if a person who had committed a serious crime would admit his mistake and surrender himself to the monastery of the Lama, the law of the Tibetan state would not punish him. The Lamas would undertake a project to correct and polish him. They did not recognize such a man as a criminal. They would respect him. The criminal became a student who had to learn about life, his self, and proper actions. Compare the ancient method of guidance to the modern approach of punishment. We have lost the guidance of the Guru and knowledge of how to train and reset the mind. If the mind does not change, the behavior will stay fixed. This punishment we give people for their crimes does not punish them at all. Through punishment, we achieve no goal and no improvement. Punishment is just an effective method to create fear. We create the fear that if you steal, you will go to jail. Those warnings rarely stop criminals. The mind must be able to know what it perceives and not confuse what it sees with its own subconscious projections. A huge amount of pain in human life comes from treating something not as it really is, but as you project it. This projection creates confusion and, and delusion. You project yourself and create a role with its commitments when you speak and give your word. Yeah, with its commitments when you speak and give your word. And your mind must be taught to listen to your word, to see clearly what you have created, and to live to that word in activity. Your projected personality in activity is what you are. How you act in relation to another is what matters. It is not your initial status in life, but your habit in personality that matters. It is how you project yourself in activity which will create your reality, your impact, and your future. We have lost the guidance of the guru and the knowledge of how to train and reset the mind. Oh, it was something else I thought about there. What was it now? Uh, about the, I'm so into the witchy now when I read about this. Although, um, yeah, it was also about how that actually connects because of the energy. I mean, celibate. I'm not about to talk about that, but how we can use. I mean, the buildup of our life force uh, can really can really help and can give us a lot of access to our own to our own life force and our own wisdom and power. But I'm not saying like blocking it, like, and I think also they direct it in other ways. But yeah, but that's something that is people work with in all traditions, I think, although at least in mystical ways, but not talked about so much because it's such a subject that is still a little bit. What is the word for that? Then it's like a little bit forbidden, kind of. Okay, living up to the word, not your popularity. A God conscious person is not one who wears a turban like me or who wears religious clothes. Those things are only a beginning to God conscious habits. Yeah, and that's the thing with the whole medicine wheels, which I also come back to, is that the beginning part is also important. I mean, especially in the beginning, but it is. I mean, it's not to dismiss any. It's just that it may not be as important or needed. The God conscious person is someone who can live up to his word and under any given circumstance. Your word is what you create. Your word is the essence and creativity of your communication. It is your communion with yourself and others. When a person communicates what he means with perfect spirit, his communication is complete, and he can live up to his words. If you say to somebody, I love you, then live up to it to the last breath of your life. If you say to somebody, I am your friend, live up to it with your utmost integrity and clarity about your own word. If you tell somebody you will stand by him and help him, then stand by and help under all conditions. Oh, this is so beautiful. Yeah. Um, but as I said, sometimes in a sandpapery way. I met hundreds of teachers who were popular and known as gurus. Most of them said beautiful things and were inspiring, but there was something very wrong. The students appeared happy, but they still had inner conflict, lacked depth, and did not really change. Many things seemed right, but something was wrong and prevented the students from attaining the steady equilibrium and peace that the teaching should give. I concluded there are two basic problems. First, many of the teachers are competing for a position rather than serving. Wow, interesting. Second, they shy away from the direct spiritual confrontation and wrestling that the student needs. Oh, okay. Okay, I understand. Second, they shy away from the direct spiritual confrontation and wrestling the student needs because they want popularity. Yeah. These days, teachers compete to be recognized as an incarnation of God. Yeah, it's not so important. The important thing is you recognize it yourself. A great deal of money is spent on this. Many ancient scriptures say that at this time an incarnation has to take place. A new spiritual awakening must occur. So everybody tries to tell the world, I am the incarnation. The gurus who are on this kind of trip lack compassion. And this is also so beautiful. There is a saying, I think it's actually the Dalai Lama, no, the Dalai Lama, who said that, there used to be like a previous incarnation, blah blah, and that the coming one might be a group, or it may be even the whole. Who knows? We will all wake up. Let's call it that then. To who we are. We don't. We will understand that the good is within. That we are it. Yeah. The ones we're waiting for and all that. Garbage cleaner. The guru opens the door to the cage of a problem and makes the person free to fly again on his path. He shows him that he is a part of infinity, that he must relate to infinity, and that these shadows are only temporary. This is the job of a guru. He is a garbage cleaner. Yeah. Yeah, to see that potential. And that is what a shaman do also in healing. Keep that magnet strong or strongest, your vision of that person healed, you know. And love is what heals. Yeah. In America, we think a guru is a holy man who can create miracles. He has many disciples, is skinny and closes his eyes all the time. We have imagined all kinds of images and powers that a guru has. It is a very strange world where we believe our hallucinations rather than simple truth. People have been so thoroughly brainwashed that these weird expectations are taken for granted. Yeah, still so when it comes to this yogic community, I think also sometimes. I experienced the stereotype. One student of mine would not give up her idea. She said to me, one morning at 3:30, I had the experience that you came and made me get up. I said, that can happen, but not in the way you now think it does. My life is dedicated in one prayer. Lord God, all people should love and belong to you, emotionally, mentally, and in action. This is what my frequency is. As a yogi, both my conscious and subconscious minds act and project in that frequency. When you tune into me, the only thing you can do is praise the Lord because that is what I stand for. I pressed the case to her. Tell me, my dear, on that night when you went to bed, did you promise yourself to get up at 3:30, have a cold shower and meditate? She said, yes. I said, where did you learn to do that? From you, I said. That's why you experienced it. God appeared in the form of my personality and hugged you to get out of bed, take a cold shower, and feel good. It was not me personally. I never went to you at all. Don't attitude that to me, or attribute, not attitude, attribute that to me. Whatever your mind tones into and whatever words go deep into yourself, the subconscious will use to guide you to the universal mind. My words and image were the frequency of infinity, and your own mind used those to connect with you. Wow. And this, as I saw them as well. The Guru shows the person that he's part of infinity, that he must relate to infinity. And this is so beautiful. Recently also there was one, I will just find that also, that song. Who said to me, I've sent some healing and saw some things around that person. I'm, as I said, also psychic. I realized I could turn off the sound. That's better. But then I sent this, which I love, By Thy Grace. But it's not, because I think that can also be misinterpreted as if I feel that there is some outside whatever whom, so that I can't like appreciate my own gift. But I think I am that grace. I mean, yeah. So it depends on what level you speak, so to speak. I will put this one here as well, this song. But yeah, to make it like my personality, if someone sees me as God, let's say, or the divine in me, then that's possible to that potential, as I can see also in everyone else, then that is possible to address in that way. But otherwise it becomes this that you worship a person, or you get so sidetracked by that. But at the same time, I believe it's true that the souls that shines through, as I saw them, for example, were theirs. At the same time, as he also describes here, not. There is something working through us as well, as in the north, in the medicine wheel. Yeah. So, yeah. And that can never be lost. That can never vanish. And we can never be separated from, because it's who we are. Realize the guru within, yeah. The only purpose of having a guru outside yourself is to realize the guru within yourself. And that's what I do in everything I do. Whether it's a divinations card, whether it's healing practices, whether it's Ayurveda, whether it's the witches, all kinds of things. That's what the aim is. When you share a problem with your guru, his compassion will fill you up, and it will pull you out of the problem forever, because there is no better remedy than the oh, my cat wonders if I shouldn't go to bed. Flow of a compassionate word from one human being to another. Another qualification of a guru is that he acts as a guide rather than controller. A guide is not a commander. He may confront your ego and wrestle with your nonsense, but he always gives you to yourself. He always gives you to yourself so you can give your ego to God. The guru guides by suggesting the truth, but not being attached to the suggestion. Yeah. This is why in almost every country in the world there is a convention or law that says if somebody confides in a holy man, the holy man cannot be made to betray that confidence. That's beautiful, actually. If these holy people are put before the court and they do not want to speak, they are not forced to do it. The qualified guru has the capacity for confidentiality. A sane society requires this need. A great person establishes this relationship outside of and within himself. The guru fulfills many deep instinctual needs in a human being. Most human societies realize that they need a person with whom a person can speak, confront, and communicate in total freedom and honesty. It is a natural instinct of a human being. The guru is like an ocean where you can totally merge yourself and come out washed and clean. The guru is a storehouse of the technical knowledge of how to be a human being and master life. You can go to the guru when you have been shaken and get taken care of, so that you are fit again to take up the responsibility of this life. The guru is the secret chamber of your inner self, where you can confide your greatest secrets and be guided in the light of righteousness. Most societies realize that they need a person with whom a person can speak, confront, and communicate in total freedom and honesty. And that to not have any an agenda with that, and just be of service, and also keep that confidence. That is so healing. And I don't know about you, but personally, I feel oftentimes people maybe who carry a lot of shame or whatever don't understand how easily they can be loved, and to be able to love themselves, maybe they first need to realize that someone can actually carry that, and it's an easy, so to speak, burden. uh how is that song now? He's not heavy, he's my brother. I start with the songs. So, we are what we are, but I wonder if this is the right song, because I won't listen to it now. I just put the link here. Yeah. We don't even know before we know, you know. How was that to say like that again? What did I do now? Oh, now I understand. So, I've been here for 3 hours more. So, yeah. Yeah. And that can also be misused so often. Haven't you seen documentaries about Catholic or whatever, where you actually confide in others and they use that to control you? So I think you should. That is also one thing that I really appreciate and love about the witchy things. Is this all the whole thing, but also with secret alphabets and whatever? Not that I use it a lot, but I'm careful if I do spell work and such, not to. I mean, if it's nothing, if it's just like general things, I can obviously make that possible for someone to find and understand what it is, whatever, if I write something down or whatever. But I'm pretty careful not to, even as in this age where you can kind of listen into most things, and you can be manipulated by the computer, phone itself, like everything, the technology. So so I'm very careful with that, not to, the things that I do with intent like that, I'm very careful to keep them secret, because yeah, because there is such a common thing when you look at it historically, that can be misused. And I don't mean that you should go around being suspicious towards all and everyone, like which I have been, but rather to understand that, and that you also, when you have reached, I think like this, when you have reached a point where you have forgiven yourself, because that is the absolution you need. You don't need anyone else's, but sometimes you need others to be able to reach that point in yourself, to someone who can carry what you express, kind of, and without like dismissing you or be disgusted by you or whatever. And then, because we're all humans, we have all kinds of things, and one thing that it shows is that if someone shares something that they feel is horrible or whatever, means that they aren't identified with it, uh, as opposed to if they keep it hidden. It feels like that is something that belongs to them, as long as they have that side, like inside. But anyways, yeah, it can be helpful in that way, but also you don't have to give one person access to all that, and be careful with whom, so that they don't come back later on using it against you. Even loving things can be used against you. So yeah, that's that. I mean, I think you should be careful. but I also understand how important that is for people to be able to embrace their own, to love themselves, to embrace who they are fully, and their capacity, blah blah. So let's see now. Oh, and then it comes to question. I think I must stop now. I've talked for so long. I'm all tired. Yeah, I will have to stop. I will keep it on that page. So hopefully soon I get back to this and do more of this. Hopefully for myself. Yeah. So yeah, I will just end. God. Oh yeah. Bye for now. Hope anything gave you something now here. If not, maybe someday I can understand something of what I said if I listen to it myself. Okay. Bye bye for now. Take care and yeah, talk another day.